Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Administrator Criswell, the reports of this FEMA employee directing volunteers to bypass properties of Trump supporters is an absolutely disgusting affront to the mission of FEMA and the trust of the American people in all of their federal government. FEMA exists to serve all Americans at times in their darkest hours and their times of crisis. And this has got to be delivered without bias or favoritism or despite any level of discrimination. Yet here we are discussing allegations that there was political discrimination tainting FEMA's response. I mean, I really appreciate you being as forthright as you've been today, but after Hurricanes Helene and Milton, countless Americans lost their homes, their businesses, and their livelihoods. Their worlds were turned upside down, and FEMA should have been the lifeline. It should be a beacon of hope for any community that has been ravaged by disaster. And if this situation was flipped and this was happening to those that supported Kamala Harris, the outrage across this country would have been deafening. The media would have been going crazy. Yet we didn't have that same level of outrage. This is symptomatic of a dangerous and growing culture of bias throughout this entire federal government. And I would hope that FEMA would be the last agency to ever contribute to that, because you truly are dealing with American citizens at their darkest hour. We need to be about Americans helping Americans, period. End of story. No matter where you are, where you come from, or who you support for President of the United States. When disaster response has been corrupted by political bias and gamesmanship, the American public's faith in this federal government gets broken permanently. And it's really tough to erase that stain. So I take you at face value that you're a person of action and you want to fix this. But what bothers me is how this employee got to this moment and what culture existed around them where they thought it was okay to guide other employees to say, no, skip those houses. I mean, are you aware of any of your employees that felt that Trump supporters were dangerous to approach their homes? What was, in your initial portions of your investigation here leading to the termination of this employee, I mean, what was it that she expressed as to why we would avoid these Trump households?
I can't speak to the motivations that drove her to send that message, but the actions that she took were completely unacceptable. We have initiated ongoing investigations, and if we find any further evidence that this is broader than this incident, then we will take appropriate action.
I mean, since you've been at FEMA, has political affiliation ever been classified by FEMA or any other federal agency, to your knowledge, as a dangerous community trend?
Never.
Okay. Did your employees and volunteers go to properties with any signage or flags or memorabilia supporting Kamala Harris or any other of the Democratic candidates running for office across the country?
Other than the information that I have from this one incident, we have gone to tens of thousands of homes across all 6 states impacted.
So yes or no, are you aware of any directive from supervisors at FEMA to avoid properties with any Democratic or Republican signage for that matter?
I have given no evidence, and I am not aware at this time.
Okay. I think that this investigation is really important, that you're on, and I'm really going to be looking for a keen interest to the final product, as you finish that product. Any timeline is when that investigation might conclude?
We have reached out to the Inspector General to conduct the investigation. I can't speak to what their timeline will be. I
think it's really important to restore faith for all Americans in many parts of the federal government, but FEMA in particular. So I really look forward to hearing from you more in the future. In my remaining time, I'd like to quickly revisit a letter that I sent earlier this year urging FEMA to update its methodology for snowstorm-related reimbursements. In its response, FEMA stated that it's working with NOAA on potential updates. And as winter approaches, lake effect snow season in Buffalo, New York is coming. It's crucial that, to my constituents in Western New York, that we know that FEMA is taking proactive steps to ensure the most current standards guide federal assistance decisions. Can you give an update on any progress FEMA and NOAA have made in their efforts to modernize its methodology?
I know following the historic snow season that we've had last year and previous years, our teams have been working on that, but I would have to get back to you specifically as to where that's at.
Okay, we look forward to following up. Thank you very much, Director, and I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.